It's the NFL on EA Sports, and the question is, are you ready for some football? It's the Texans and the Silver and Black, next on Madden Football.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Las Vegas, Nevada. Today, we're set for a good AFC matchup between the Houston Texans and the Las Vegas Raiders. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. With me, as always, Charles Davis. And, Charles, we look at a matchup like this. It's really the running backs that may take center stage here today.
And in today's football, they're still valuable, not just as runners, but guys who can catch the ball as well. It's really the number of touches that determines things these days. Stadium. From his end zone, here's Tremont Smith. And they'll get him down right at the 25-yard line, so the same result, and he opted for the touchback. As the Texans offense runs out, we get a peek at the man under center. Second-year quarterback Davis Mills out of Stanford. I think when we really analyze the 2021 NFL season, Houston Texans quarterback Davis Mills, he deserves a lot more credit than he got for leading a bad team last season. Circumstances led the third-round rookie to being thrown in as the team starter, and he really came on after some early struggles. 4 300-yard games from him, he led Houston to a big upset of the Chargers to help keep L.A. out of the playoffs.
They run with a rookie from Florida, Dameon Pierce. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
I'll give them credit for trying, but there's no fooling the defense with that call. They were reading run, and they set up to stop the run, and then executed.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Now Mills. They dial up the screen here to Burkhead. And he's able to break out of one tackle, but then quickly brought down.
The key to any screenplay is all of the deception. And that means everyone on the offensive side of the ball. But someone gave it up because that one wasn't very well concealed. And the defense able to rally to him and hold him for just a short gain.
And they'll look to avoid an early 3-and-out here on 3rd and 4. To throw, Mills. And this is going to be incomplete.
That was the first third down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key third down throws.
Now on 4th down, it's Cameron Johnston on to punt it away. Hunter Renfrow deep to return for the Raiders. And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. And as the Raiders take over on offense, we get to see the man who has been the leader of this team for 9 seasons now. Under center, Derek Carr.
In the midst of a tumultuous 2021 season, the Las Vegas Raiders really turned to their quarterback, Derek Carr, to not only drive their offense, leading to career-high totals from the 8th-year passer and a nearly 5,000-yard season throwing the football, but also his leadership ability. He really grabbed that team and led them to the playoffs for the second time in his career while coming out one of the toughest divisions in football.
Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 22. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down.
Out routes are always timing routes, and if the timing's off just a little bit, it can really throw off a play. It looked like he let him a little too much there.
Yeah, there was a fraction of a second because he caught it, just couldn't stay in bounds. On play action, now Carr. He's got him in, complete. And he's going to get this down near the 25.
I think it's about time I took my eyes off of the secondary or the guys with the football. How about the offensive line on that snap? They took care of business.
Absolutely, and when he can stay in the pocket like that, you're going to get big plays like we just saw. So that changes things in a big way. Now from all the way down inside the 30, here's 1st and 10. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Part of what we're seeing so far is the defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. Now first carry for the former Pro Bowler, Josh Jacobs. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
I know the speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
The Texans here on 3rd down, putting an extra defender in the secondary. Here's Carr. And that's going to be too high. Out of bounds and incomplete.
But that was certainly an aggressive call and an aggressive play. Instead of just going for the 1st down, took the shot in the end zone, went for the touchdown.
And on 3rd down, they said, forget about the sticks. We want 6. So Carr exits on 4th down, and on comes Daniel Carlson for the field goal try. This is a 40-yard attempt from the left hash. The kick by Carlson is good, and the Raiders jump out to a 3-0 advantage. So pretty good opening drive. That'll make the home fans somewhat happy. They wanted 6, but they got 3 in the early lead.
And they should be happy. The guys look good getting down the field. That's got to give them a little bit of hope that good things are in store here today for them.
Now sets up to kick this away. On the return, here comes Smith out of the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. So now we get set to see Houston for their 2nd drive of the ball game. And a 3-and-out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. Titus Howard, right tackle, the man flagged for that one.
Still first down.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Pierce takes it straight ahead. And he takes this across the 15 to the 17. Bringing him down defensively, Jayon Brown.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Now on 2nd and 16. Mills. Throw right side, caught by O.J. Howard. And he's taken down. It's a gain of 3 from the 17 to the 20.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
And the Raiders call on a nickel set for 3rd down. Mills. And down he goes. Brought down a Raiders sack. A well-designed corner blitz that gets him for a loss of 8 yards.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
On 4th down, out is the punter, Cameron Johnston, to boot it away. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Raiders will take over now 1st and 10. Second drive of the game coming up for this Las Vegas offense. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. On the ground, it's Jacobs to start the drive. He'll take it past the 40 to the 41, 2nd down.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defense in front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
From the 41, Carr. Under pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this first quarter. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Second quarter from Vegas. The homestanding Raiders with a football here. Carr and the Raiders following the sack, looking up at a 3rd and long. Carr going to throw. Being chased out left. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away. The passing game not in sync here early. And now it's 4th down.
There's nothing like pressure to affect the accuracy and the timing of a guy trying to throw the football. And on that play, they ended up flushing him to his left. Contacted him as he's trying to throw the football, and that led to the incompletion.
So on 4th down, here's A.J. Cole to punt for the Raiders. Desmond King back deep. And here's a fair catch taken at about the 24-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. A 1st down throw for Mills. And his throw here's incomplete. He was trying to find O.J. Howard, and now it's 2nd down.
Oh, they'll certainly be on the tablets going over that one for sure. Clearly, they were expecting something else out of the defense and couldn't adjust to make that completion happen.
Following the incomplete pass, here they go again. 2nd and 10 from the 25. On 2nd down, here's Pierce. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. He went backwards 7 yards, setting up a tough 3rd down.
These guys off the edge are already tough to contain when they're protecting a stationary target. Asking them to hold their blocks when a runner is struggling to find a lane, often an impossible task. Regardless of the outcome on the scoreboard, that will be one of this game's biggest stops.
The Raiders call on a nickel set here for 3rd down. Throwing, Mills. That one thrown away from the pocket. The officials kind of looking at each other, but they'll say there was a receiver in the area, so no penalty, just an incomplete pass.
Well, this first half has not gone according to plan so far offensively, or even defensively for that matter. They could use a big-time spark somewhere, but it's not going to come on this drive as they have to punt this one away.
On is the punter, Johnston now, as he sends this one away. Here's Renfro to return. A pretty good punt there, but also a nice return of 12 yards. And it'll be Raiders football 1st and 10. Here's Las Vegas ready to take the field. Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming. A good starting spot for the Raiders as they come up 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 49. They'll begin on the ground with Jacobs. And he's going to be brought down inside the 45 at the 43. A solid run on 1st down, gain of 7, leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Carr with a play fake to Jacobs. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. They fake the handoff. Now Carr. Got a man open. It's Darren Waller. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Well, that's one way to convert on 3rd down, picking up 26 yards.
Normally on 3rd down and short yardage, you're thinking of throwing to your tight end. It's just going to be a simple chain mover. But this time they let him roam down the field, and a nice dart picks up the 1st down and then some.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. A first run for the backup, Abdullah. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or also just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. They go back to the ground, this time Jacobs. And he'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 14-yard line. Second quarter, 2 minutes remain, 3-0 our score. And the Texans have an extra defender in the secondary now on 3rd down. Carr now to throw.
And this is going to be caught. No, they say it's incomplete.
And based on my math, they've only converted one time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. Third downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
So Carr will depart, and on comes the Raider kicker Daniel Carlson for the field goal try. From the right hash, this a 31-yard attempt. Carlson able to put this one through, and they're able to double their lead in this first half. It's 6-0. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number one. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
After the made field goal, Carlson now sets up to kick this away. Taking it about the 1. And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further. Now comes a Houston offense as they get set to take over here. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. Looking to throw is Mills. He's going to let this one go deep. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Here's Mills. It's hauled in by Brandon Cooks. And he'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs as we just saw there.
They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. Mills to throw it. And that is incomplete. Not much going on this drive. Looks like they're going to have to punt it away, CD.
And right now, I know a lot of their fans are screaming for the OC to change things up, get away from what he's been calling. Sometimes you just need better execution of the plays that have been called.
Set to punt. Here's Cameron Johnston. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. They call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now Carr. Catch is made by Hunter Renfrow. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. Second down at 4. Now Carr. To the sideline, and it's caught, but boy, he's out of bounds. And they try to get him into space coming out of the backfield, but it'll be 3rd down.
The defender certainly didn't forget about him leaking out of the backfield. There's a guy ready and waiting to pick him up in coverage, and that throw had no shot.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. From the gun, it's Carr.
gets this to Devontae Adams. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Could we get a touchdown in this first half after all? It's 1st and 10. Carr. And this will be caught by his big wide receiver. Now another timeout called for by the offense as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. Again, they'll throw with Carr. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here on this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on first down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. Back to throw again. They swing that out wide to Jacobs. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
A 3rd field goal of the first half, not what they're looking for as they come up on 3rd down. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So on 3rd down, the field goal unit will come out as they'll try to get 3 before half. It'll be a 47-yard attempt from the left hash. The kick by Carlson is good, and that will make this a 9-point lead. So he's been a busy man here in this first half. That's 3 field goals for him now.
And not just 3 field goals, but 3 for 3. So even though the offense has struggled a bit putting it in the end zone, they've still been able to come away with points due to his leg.
So 6 seconds, all that remains of this first half as the kick is away. Fields it right around the goal line. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. White flag coming out as they line up to kneel on it. All that remains is to snap this once, and that'll do it for the first half of play. So we come upon halftime with 9 points separating these 2 teams. As we are off to Orlando now to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach?
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome, everyone, to our brand-new studios here in downtown Orlando and the EA Sports Halftime Report. First order of business, though. Let's get a look at the next-gen stats in that first half for Houston. And they did not do much at all in terms of throwing the football in those first 2 quarters. That's going to need to improve if they want to erase this deficit. Meanwhile, for the Raiders, they had a little more success than their counterparts did in the passing game, as evidenced by the numbers there.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Fine work as always as we welcome you back for quarter number 3.
lead already, and they will get the football here as the second half is now underway. Taken in at the 3. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. Out comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3. And Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more, because I thought in the first half they didn't get it moving the way that they would like. They had success throwing it, but I think these first couple of drives, they'll want to get those running backs going and give them more opportunities, and I will guarantee you that those guys were lobbying for them in the locker room at halftime.
Second half starts with a run by Abdullah. And he'll take this one up to about the 23. Brought down that time by Christian Kirksey.
Nice satisfying run on first down for the offense, picking up 5, which means defensively, the thought process is entirely different. You don't want to panic, but at the same time, you're saying to each other, we got to tighten this down. We can't give up gains like that.
Carr going to give it to Jacobs. And he'll manage only a couple here up to the 25. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they can actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Carr going to try and throw on third down. That's going to be complete on the sideline, but, you know, that throw left him no room to run, and the good footwork nearly all for naught. 2 yards on the pickup there, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
I think the training and practice broke down on that play because he simply didn't run the route deep enough to get to the first down marker, despite what was a really nice catch and toe tap on the sideline.
That's third down 101. You got to go to the marker, know where it is. A 40-yard punt, no return, and the Texans will take over. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. And, Charles, they're certainly still right in this game, but they need that offense to wake up and in a hurry.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. They certainly did seem to sleepwalk a bit in the first half. Now that their defense has done its job, it's their turn now to go out and try and get some points.
1st and 10 now for Mills and the Texans. Just shy of the 30. Mills now. Trying to fit it into Moore, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Denzel Perryman. And the Raiders are going to take possession of the football. And right about now, you start to think, and maybe they're starting to think, gosh, maybe points aren't going to happen for us in this game.
Well, it's a thought that is worth having because so far in this game, this defense has not just had the upper hand. They've appeared to be a step ahead, maybe even 2 steps to everything they've done. They've had an answer for everything this offense has thrown at them.
Now after the INT, it's Carr. He's going to find and complete it to Renfro. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup.
How about the way they're moving the ball down the field? They had a big play a moment ago. Followed up with another nice one here. And before you know it, they're already looking at 1st and goal.
A kicker fest so far, all points via field goals. They're hoping to change that right here. Jacobs diving for the end zone, and he is in. Touchdown. Just power football there, down near the goal line. Give it to him. He's able to push his way across.
Yeah, they went heavy there. Sometimes you have those big offensive linemen come in after report like they're eligible. But all they're doing is getting a good stance, blocking, and getting their runner across the goal line.
to throw. And he will get into the end zone to bump the lead up to 3 scores. And the formula there on the two-point try to go 5 wide. Not even the option to hand the ball off. They got it.
They tried to create space, and there isn't a whole lot of it there. For the defense, what you're trying to do is make sure that if they're going to catch the ball, make them catch it behind you because they run out of space with the back line. But in this case, the offense figured it out.
Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. And Smith chooses not to return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25. Houston set to take over. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
1st and 10 now for Mills and the Texans at their 25-yard line. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that is incomplete.
I'm sure this isn't a novel thought, but maybe run some simpler routes instead of trying to get it all back in one shot. Defense certainly appears to be ready for him. Try and get it back little by little instead of in big chunks.
3rd quarter from Southern Nevada. Here's a 2nd and 10. To throw, Mills. It's caught left side by Cooks. Yeah, this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now Mills. And he's got a man. It's the tight end Howard, complete. And getting this just shy of midfield. They'll spot it at the 49. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football. Right now, I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
They will get 4 yards here on the 1st down run, and that'll make it 2nd and 6. Another modest gain there on that one, and I think, Charles, you can probably pin part of the deficit on a failure on their part to really get this ground game established.
Yeah, and they've really struggled to be multidimensional in this one, haven't they, partner, because they have to be extremely one-dimensional now if they hope to get back into this game. They'll have to do it by throwing the football and hope to have success through the air.
And he's going to be close to a 1st down as he gets this to the Raiders' 42.
It's not a huge breakaway run, but if your starting running back finishes the game without just a 5 or 6 yards per touch, you'll take that every single time.
This is 3rd and 1. Very likely 4-down territory, even if they don't get it, though. Pierce will try to pick it up. And he will have 1st down yardage as he's brought down at the 41.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Nothing in that first half, nothing on the last drive, but they're moving now with a 1st and 10. On the jet sweep, here comes Moore.
And some space here. Nifty move. And he will be taken down, but a big pickup there on what's going to be the final play of the third quarter. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Las Vegas. Welcome back, everybody. It's Texans football, but they trail here as we get started in the fourth quarter.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Flush to, and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
Malone Nichols in there to take him down.
It's interesting, partner, that most defenses try and guard the 35-yard line actively because they think the way kickers are nowadays, about a 52-yard field goal, they're kind of giving up points. But you get even deeper into territory, you get into the red zone, they're going to guard it even more, which means more pressure, more blitzing.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18.
Mills.
Looking left sideline, incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
This offense 2 for 2 on 3rd downs on this drive. They're in for a tough test here, though. 3rd and long. Looking to throw. Mills. That's caught by Howard.
And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a chip-down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he could scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
Mills, 4th down, got to have it.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Texans tried it, but they come up empty here on 4th. And the Raider D, they get the football back. So they finally get their first trip to the red zone, and it ends with nothing.
And that's what I'm going to focus on with you because you teed it up really well. Finally get to the red zone. So there's got to be a little bit of frustration because they haven't moved the ball as well as they wanted to all game. Now they get there, but we got to go for it because we don't know if we're going to get back here again. We don't know how many opportunities because they've been sputtering a little bit.
Absolutely. At this stage in the second half, to get there and not get it for the first time, tough.
Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10.
And he'll take this one up to about the 23. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4.
Once again, it's Jacobs.
And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35.
Give them 12 yards that time, and a Las Vegas first.
Well, I don't think there's any question, Brandon, at this stage. The stop troops, the defensive guys, they got to use their 3 timeouts here. They've got to stop them and get the ball back.
Yeah, if you're in that 2 to 3 score deficit window that they're in now, you got to get it ASAP.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Stop them, use your timeouts. Easier to move the ball on offense without timeouts than to stop them on defense without using them.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit.
Still first down.
Now they need 15 yards on this series after the delay of game. 1st and 15. Jacobs going to try the middle. And he's got a good gain of 7 up to the 37.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line, and I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. Two minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win. On 2nd down, Jacobs. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39. On 3rd down, here comes Jacobs. And oh, he's just going to be short here, barely. Maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the first down. Close it out. That punt was near perfection as it checked up inside the 5-yard line. You never know where these things are going to go, do you?
No, what was it? You got a John Heisman quote about that, right?
Yeah, he said the football is roughly a prolate spheroid, which means it's going to bounce funny, and you never know where it's going to end up.
On 1st and 10, Mills. That'll be caught. It's the tight end, Howard. And they work this out past the 25. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they get it with 26 seconds to go in the football game. Mills on 1st down. And that's complete to Cooks. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Now another timeout called for by the offense. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. A 1st down throw for Mills. And that's complete downfield to Cooks. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. The catch and run pays off to the tune of 35 yards. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the 4th, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage, and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football.
And with just inside of 10 seconds to go, they'll burn their final timeout. 9 seconds left. Working with a 2nd and 4. Mills again. And that'll be Incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's moves.
And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30. So this one a victory for the Las Vegas Raiders. And they did it in shutout fashion. Impressive.
Would it be too bland of a statement to say they didn't have the greatest day offensively? I mean,
Did enough, though. Did enough. But, yeah, you're right.
most games, it wouldn't have been enough. So they've got to go into the locker room and applaud their defensive mates and say, guys, you really carried us today. We'll try and get you back next time. But as for today, you guys are nails out there.